Hiya.
Hello.
Welcome to GGKCS, the multi-generational podcast. My hands aren't warmed up yet this morning, / FlossTube for fans of all things knitting, cross, stitch, and geeky. My name is Cece.
I'm Dammy. Sorry, my light is going funky.
Yeah. I didn't even turn on my ring light.
There's also construction down the street. So.
Is it okay? Do I need to adjust it? Okay, sorry. It's a week. Today is Thursday, the 5th of November, 2020, and this is episode 420. We'd like to say a big welcome back. We love y'all. I suck at this. To all of our returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy the show. Well, it's been a week, Dammy. Yeah. I know a lot of us are dealing with a lot of emotions and anxiety and fear and hope. And so I hope that this hour-ish of us recording an episode for y'all is something that can be a positive in an otherwise stressful week. So, well, we actually have a significant amount of things to talk about. So unless you have anything, Dammy, we should probably get started. All right, here we go. Oh, Dammy's in the dark again.
And now we're going to talk about what's on her needles.
Yes, I have one thing on my needles. One thing and one thing only. One. I am knitting the Sinistra Cadigan. This is a pattern by Marna Gilligan of On Keton Bieg. You're going to hear her name mentioned again in Yummies. And this is my Nanny Swemo 2020 sweater. If you are new, Nanny Swemo is National Knit a Sweater in a Month. It happens every November. It's a spinoff of NaNoWriMo, which is National Write a Novel in a Month, where you write a novel of 50,000 words or more. Well, the knitters or crocheters version is to knit or crochet a sweater of 50,000 stitches or more. I am doing this on US 2's 2.75 mil needles using this that looks black, even though it's got gray undertones. That's a little truer. I'm calling it charcoal black. This is the natural colorway, and this is Cece's pink. These are all from Soundview Fiber Mill, which is the fiber mill that I work at. This is 100% Shetland fingering weight, and I dyed them myself. And it's fabulous. So I started this obviously on the 1st of November. And as of last night, not counting the few stitches I've put in this morning, I was already at 19,797 stitches. This sweater is going to be way more than 50,000 stitches. It is living in my favorite murder Elvis tote bag from, I didn't know who it was from on Sunday when I recorded my Stitch With Me. It is from Alexandra Brott. Brodt. Is that how you would say that? Brott?
Brott.
Okay. And I'm using a Progress Keeper and stitch markers from Ann Tudor. So here is where I am at. So actually, wait, where am I? There we go. oops, this way. Because right here in between these two adorable kitty stitch markers is where I will steek the sweater. So steeking means my good friend Janine will be helping me, and we will be sewing down these down with the sewing machine, and then I will cut it, and then that will get tacked on the inside, and I will pick up stitches for the button band. So I'm also using my Elvis stitch marker that Ann Tudor made for My Favorite Murder kits because it went with the bag. So I am 3 rows away from starting the kitties. But there is something like 471 stitches on the needles right now. So the rows are taking a long time. But my goal for today is to get through these 3 rows and get started on the cats. The cats are a 29 round chart. So I won't get through all of those today, obviously, but hopefully I can make some progress on it. And that is the only thing that I am working on right now. Yeah. Nanny Swimmo. This is my 8th year to do this, and I will complete it. I will keep the, what's the word? Like when a sports team wins year after year.
Title?
No.
The crown?
No.
Reigning champion? I don't know.
The record going? No, that's still not right. Anyway, I'm sure somebody is screaming it at the screen right now, but I don't know what it is. I can't think of the word. So, Dammy, I didn't even ask you if you have anything on your needles.
You know I don't.
I didn't know if you had started Hallie's hat or not.
You know I haven't.
Do you want to talk about here, or do you want to talk about in Yummies about your what you're doing this week?
Sure, I can talk about it here. So right now, I'm in rehearsals. Rehearsals on Zoom are so fun to do. Every night this week. Then we'll have a staged reading / performance on Zoom on Monday for the play that was supposed to be mounted on our main stage this spring. The Shakers of Mount Lebanon will hold a peace conference this month by Arlene Hutton. We're currently workshopping it with Arlene and our director, Marianne Sable, and it's just a really fun process.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very interesting to have to do it all over Zoom. How many people are in the cast?
I think there are 12.
Okay. So it's not a huge cast, but it's not a small one either. The birds are taunting pink. I have the screen door open, or the patio door open just a little bit to let some air in. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm very excited for the Zoom next week to watch you perform. So it'll be fun. So between that and school, that is taking up all of your time right now. So yeah. All right. Well, I do actually have a finished project. So let's move on and I'll show it to you.
And now we're going to talk about her finished project.
I thought of it, Dammy. I'm going to keep the finishing streak alive. Instead of the winning streak. The winning streak. Like a sports team, they want to keep the winning streak alive.
Okay.
Could you make that the title while I talk about my finished project?
Sure.
The finishing streak alive. Okay. I finished, as I was hoping I would do. Birthday socks for my bestie, Katie. These are from my French Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern that you can get on javapearldesigns.com. I did them on US 1.5, 2.5 mil needles, and the yarn is Abstract Fiber Super Sock Plus in the Thistle colorway. I'm going to send her a message and see if she would be okay waiting for me to knit Izzy's birthday socks, which Izzy is Katie's youngest son, so that I can ship them together because shipping is just so high to the UK. So I'm sure she'll be fine with it. She has quite a few pairs of CC socks. So they lovingly named the socks that I knit for them CC socks. Because Izzy actually, when he was, I don't know, probably 2 or 3, they were in the store and he was wearing socks I had knit and Katie was wearing socks I knit, and he kept stopping people and saying, look, I wear CC socks. Mama wears CC socks. And so then now they've become CC socks.
They were in IKEA?
Oh, that's right. I had forgotten that.
That's not important to the story, but they were in IKEA.
No. There we go. Well, now you know. I don't have a finished preemie hat because I'm focusing on my Nanny Swemo sweater. And then when I finish it, I will catch up on how many ever preemie hats I need to finish up on. What are you singing?
Jolene. Because I saw her name in the show notes.
Her name, I was about to say her name is in the show notes, Dammy. Okay, I do have FlossTube content because I did not start my Nanny Swemo sweater till the 1st of November. So let's move on to the next segment and I'll tell you all about it. And now it's time for FlossTube. Okay, I did get some stuff worked on prior to starting Nanny Swemo. So first up, a project you haven't seen in a while in this beautiful sunflower project bag. It's the old style of her project bag. She's updated to a different style now from Stitching the High Notes. I am working on Hello Pumpkin by Stitching with the Housewives. And so on Saturday, on Halloween, the Black Needle Society did a kind of like Zoom, well, that wasn't Zoom, it was on Facebook, like witching hour kind of stitch together party thing for Halloween. And I participated in some of it. And they had a couple of stitching challenges. This was for the second challenge, which was a project that had a pumpkin in it. So this is where I was last time, which has been quite a while since I worked on this. And here is where I got to. So I did quite a bit on the cup. Those empty spaces, like right there, that's where the vines go. And this is on fabric from Fortnite Fabrics. I can't remember. It's a 28 count even weave, but I can't remember the colorway. It was from one of their fabric of the months. Yeah. So that is one of the things that I worked on. Sorry, my brain. The second thing I worked on in my Outlander to Bed or to Sleep project bag from Stitch Toolbox using Star Wars Snippety from Caddy Cross Stitches. Dammy, would you do me a favor right quick? Because I started using the new thing that was like the Snippety that I talked about in last week's episode, but I didn't update y'all for Edinburgh Castle, but I forgot to update it in the show notes. Would you go look on last week's show notes on the website and copy the info for me so that I say it when I get to that?
Yes. Can we pause right quick?
Okay. We had to pause for a second. So, and my needle minder for this is from Gecko Rouge, and I'm stitching the Cats and Mandalas February by Kitty and Me Designs, Pamela Kellogg, for Dammy's birthday. That was 3 weeks ago. but Dammy is very kind and patient and understanding. That I'm going back to
That's
school.
what I want you to think. That's what I want you to think.
I love you. See, I wore a shirt about you today. That
one of our lovely about Hadestown, because that's what I wore yesterday.
One of our lovely podcast viewers sent this to me. He says, "I love my non-binary child," and it's got the hearts with the flag. Okay, this is on a 28 count Lugana from Be Stitch Me in the, what's the color of the fabric, Dammy?
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
Artemis.
So this was the other project that I worked on for a challenge for the Black Needle Society, and it had to be a project that called for DMC 310, which is black, but you didn't have to be stitching with that. It just had to call for it. So I got, this is where I was last time I showed you this, and here's where I'm at now. So I worked, it's hard to see some of it under where that floss is. I worked on all that down there. I got around 80 or 90 stitches done during that hour. But it's because I wasn't able to get more done because I had to change the colors so frequently. But I didn't want to start something new for it, just to meet the stitching challenge thing. So I just worked on that. So I made progress on that. And then the last thing that I worked on in my Knit Run Dig Winnie the Pooh project bag is Edinburgh Castle by Tara Luna Stitchery. And I am using Pattern Keeper software on a Kindle Fire 7. My needle minders are from Top Knot Stitcher. My grime guard is from Crab Shack Stitchery. This is what I was getting Dammy to look up. This is the Bitsy Bob by That's So Calico. And she tells you to keep the bag because it keeps your floss from like sticking to the side of your bag or to your piece of fabric and sliding off. So, yeah. And yes, I know it's Halloween, but it's just going to get used for this entire project because that's just how it is. Okay, and the silicone ties are from Amazon. All of this is linked in our show notes, which is at
GGKCS.com. Sorry, I'm... Ooh.
Yes. Pink, be careful.
What's he doing?
Well, she jumped down from the couch, but I have the ring light cord draped over the arm of the couch. And okay. So this is where I was last time I showed you. Oh, crud. I did not.
Yeah, I can't tell you a number.
Hold on. I've got it right here. Because I actually need to airdrop it over. Last time I showed you this was, I had stopped on the 28th of October and I was at 30,400 stitches. And what I got done before Nanny Swemo started was half of this column. So that put me at 30,800 stitches out of 265,824. That puts me at 11.587% complete. When I finish these last 4 blocks in this column, Dammy, I will have finished the 6th page. So, but this is getting put on a little sabbatical until your cat is being weird. She's up on the banister now. Until I finish Nanny Swemo, and then I'm actually going to show you in just a minute in Yummies what I'm going to be knitting in December. And I'm just going to have to gauge and see how long it takes me to knit each day's clue to see if I can pick back Edinburgh Castle in December or if it's going to have to wait till January. So, okay. Well, there's not any cross-stitch specific content in the rest of the episode, but I hope you'll stick around because we do have some fun things to talk about. So let's move on to the next segment. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. What are Yummies, Dammy?
Yummies are Yummies are our current favorite things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. This is Pink the cat. Got in
This
trouble.
is the next president of the United States.
Well, one of your roommates gave her how many electoral votes?
1 million.
You got 1 million electoral votes. Although we need to abolish the whole electoral college system. But that's a story for another day because everybody's vote, every person's vote should count the same. Just say.
She like put her paw up like she was about to be like,
you gonna give me 5?
I think
she's very confused about the ring light and she's mad because she got in trouble and I snagged her.
Yeah, she looks tired. She looks like she doesn't want to look at the ring light.
Yeah, she was trying to jump behind the corner table. Ooh. And I grabbed her. Okay, say bye-bye to Tammy.
Bye, Kitty. Bye, Kitty.
Okay, hold on. Let's go this way. Let's go this direction. There you go. Okay, now that I'm covered in pink pearl fur, which is a normal thing around here. Okay, I can't believe I forgot to show y'all this. I got this a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago or so, and I kept forgetting to show y'all because it was sitting in a bag on my desk, and I just kind of got distracted. But my sweet friend Jolene hand spun some mini skeins for me. And the fiber was processed and dyed at the mill that I work at. So I'm hoping that there's enough to do a pair of those shorty fingerless mitts that I made like 57 pairs of. Was that last year before, whenever it was? Because what I'm going to do is divide the skeins in half so that they can be gradient on the mitts. But if I don't have enough, I'm thinking that I could just add this natural into the gradient because I should have extra of it. What do you think, Tammy?
Yes.
Or something else, we'll figure it out. But that was so sweet, and I kept forgetting to tell y'all that she made these for me. So, well, in the midst of the craziness of this week, I got a parcel in the post that made me happy. I'm trying to cover up our address, which is on it. But look at that space cat. This box came all the way from Kent in the United Kingdom. And it is my yarn advent calendar. And so inside the box, there's this beautiful card. So because this year she this box is from Katian Biag that designed the sweater that I'm knitting, and she also designs patterns, obviously, and dyes yarn and does stitch markers and all kinds of lovely stuff. So her advent pattern for this year is called the Kaleido Caddy Afghan, but I don't really want to knit an Afghan, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to knit with it instead. So there was this card. There's this adorable print of the Space Kitty. Isn't that cute? And then there are 25 mini skeins, all wrapped up and dated. I'm trying to find one that has here we go. Can you see the kitty in the constellation? Very cute. But there was one little parcel that says, "Open me anytime." And since I needed a pick-me-up, I opened it already, even though it's not Advent yet. And it has a little pen with the Space Kitty on it, which will go on my bulletin board full of pens. And it has this beautiful stitch marker. Oops, it's spinning. There we go. Of space. And I love the thing that she used, the hexagon. I love hexagon stitch markers. So every day, well, the 25 of the days in December, I will be opening this box and I will be knitting the cat vent cowl that she also designed. So this was like a mystery thing that came out last year that like she released the clue every day, but I didn't knit that then. So I'm trying to see. Here's some other pictures. So you can see like right there. are some cats. Here's some more pictures. So the daily instructions don't seem like too much, but it's got 192 stitches to be that I'll be knitting on. And there are, like, some days there's cables, some days there's braids, some days there's color work. So that is what I will be knitting in December, and I will be doing Vlogmas. I will wait and put that back in there when we're done because I know it's crinkling. I'll be doing Vlogmas where I record a video, release a vlog every day in December. And I also will have, it has not arrived yet, but I think they're shipping them out maybe on Monday because they're trying to make sure. The reason she sent this out so early is because with all the issues that we're having with the postal system and it being overworked and such, she wanted to make sure that everybody got their boxes in time. And the Black Needle Society, I bought the Nice List box, and they're also doing the same thing. So they are packing up, last I heard, the last few items, like the last item to go in all the boxes, and then I think they're going to ship them out on Monday, or sometime next week. So I will have that as well that I will be opening on my Vlogmas. Also, some people call it Flossmas, but I'll probably just continue to call it Vlogmas because it encompasses it all. So, okay, Dammy, do you have anything for Yummies?
No.
Y'all, wait, no, you do have something for Yummies. What did y'all do on Tuesday night?
Oh yeah, Tuesday night was only Christmas. That day was December 24th, and the morning after was December 24th, so we decorated for Christmas. This one is my stocking.
Is it a cat?
It's a cat. It looks like Annika's cat, the one I've seen you pictures of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We've got a little Christmas tree and everything. So.
It's to your the other side of you, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna move my computer though, because I'm not gonna move my computer because my mic is through the computer, not headphones.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I'm excited. Dammy's roommates are there, so that is what's going on. I'm excited for you to come home so we can decorate.
Can we get a big tree?
I'm worried about a certain little cat.
We just tell her no.
Do you know how well she listens?
Very well. I think, honestly, after like the first week, she's just going to want to curl up under it and sleep.
Where are we going to put a big tree?
In our hearts.
Please scream inside your heart. We will talk about it. We will talk about it. We have, what we've been using is we have 2 small, like, tabletop trees. There you go. Christmas tree. So yes, I'm excited for you to come home. So, okay, Dammy. I guess the other thing we have is hashtag #GGKCraftyPad. Can you tell us what that is?
It's our Crafty Photo a Day challenge. We have a list of photo prompts for each month. So you take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture related to it, and post it anywhere you like. But we usually pick our favorites from Instagram. But right now, Instagram is trying to crack down on misinformation. So you cannot access the recent tab for any hashtags. So we just did photos from us two. And hopefully next week we can do photos, not next week, week after we can do photos from everyone again.
Yes, hopefully so. Yeah, I didn't even think about that as being an issue. Okay, so we're about to show y'all what Dammy just said. Photos from Dammy and I. Dammy chose the photo, so I don't know which photo of mine that they chose. It'll be a surprise when I edit the pictures or edit the video. As well as you'll see November's list. Let's do that. Dammy, great job on posting a photo. And me too. I posted photos. Okay, it's never too late to join in. You take a look at the prompt for the day. Today's prompt, Dammy, is today. Very user-friendly. You interpret the prompt however you want. We're very cheater-friendly on this. You post your photo on Instagram. Make sure in the caption you use hashtag GGKCraftyPad, because that's usually how we can find your photos, except for right now with what's going on. And yours might get chosen to be featured on the podcast, in the show notes, on social media, in our Facebook group, all the things. And our theme for this month is thankfulness. And so you'll see several of the days this month we use the word thankful as the prompt, because we want you to have all the thankful feelings. So your cat is sitting on the banister now. Are you feeling emotions, Pinky? Are you feeling all the emotions of the world? She's staring at the door. I don't know. Nobody's coming in the door, honey. Who knows? Well, let's move on to our next segment.
And now we're going to talk about what we are reading, watching, and listening to.
What are you reading, Dammy?
Several plays. Harvey by Mary Chase. I'm about to start Elephant's Graveyard by George Brandt. What was it?
Venus.
One? Venus by Susan Laurie Parks. And then I put in Shakers, didn't I?
Yeah. I won't have any way to link to that, will I, though?
No. The Shakers of Mount Lebanon hold a peace conference this month by Arlene Hutton. Are various workshop versions of it. So.
Is there a new version for tonight?
Probably.
Okay. Well, and you're reading one more thing.
The Glass Scientists, which is a webcomic by Sabrina Katungo.
And I know with all this reading, you are getting at least 15 minutes a day in.
Yes.
What am I referring to?
The October, November, December. Wow.
Read along. So this is a challenge for you to read 15 minutes a day every day. I don't care what you're reading, as long as you're reading. Audiobooks do count. I've been listening to 2 this week. And by participating in the seasonal, you get entries into the year-long challenge. And at the beginning of 2021, we will draw for 3 grand prize winners. And there are ways to earn bonus entries as well. All the details are in the show notes, as well as in our Facebook group, which is at
facebook.com/groups/GGKCS.
Would you remind them the 3 things that they need to answer for us to let them in the group?
The name of our cat is Pink. Cece is the mama. And you need to scroll to the bottom of the rules and check I agree.
Perfect. And that way we will let you in. We're trying to keep spammers out. Okay. What have I been reading? A lot of things. I'm continuing to read nonfiction-wise, Complex PTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. It's a heavy one. I have to take it in little doses. I am reading Shameless, A Sexual Reformation by Nadia Boltz-Weber. It's kind of weird because that's the title with that subtitle on like Goodreads and such. But if I look at the actual cover of the book, of the version I have through our library through Libby, it says Shameless, a case for not feeling bad about feeling good about sex. So I'm wondering if they like changed the subtitle when they like did a new release of it or something. I don't know. But it is definitely interesting. For my LGBTQ plus faith book club, which is for both people who identify as that or who are allies we are reading this month Unashamed, a coming out guide for LGBTQ Christians by Amber Cantorna. It's a very, very good book. I've already read it once prior to this, and so I'm rereading it. Okay, and then fiction-wise, I didn't write down the name of the chapter. I am continuing to reread the 5th book in the Harry Potter series, The Order of the Phoenix, along with Harry Potter and the Sacred Text podcast and Swish and Flick and All Potter podcast. And I'm looking to tell you what the chapter was this week. It is... hold on, trying to find it. So sorry. Seen and Unforeseen. And it was, so we did the first half of that chapter. It's Harry in occlumency, and it's the article coming out and Rita Skeeter like losing her everything. About the article and like banning the Quibbler and which just made all the students want to read it even more. And yeah, just all of that. So I finished reading Girl, Woman, Other by Bernadine Evaristo, and I talked about that in some detail in last week's episode. I read the next book in the Dr. Greta Helsing series by Vivian Shaw, book 3, Grave Importance. And I think that one's actually the end of the series. I don't think there's going to be another one. But the main character is a doctor for monsters, werewolves and vampires and the like. And it's set in London primarily. I listened to the next book in the Guild Codex Spellbound series by Annette Marie, book number 7, Lost Talismans and a Tequila. This one featured a lot of demon stuff and them coming down from Canada, from Vancouver, to Washington and Oregon, and I think they were in Montana at one point in the story. So this is a supernatural series. I finished reading The Talented Miss Farwell by Emily Gray Tedrow. It was so interesting. It's about this woman who she was inspired by a true story, but then like took it and like spun it and made it all her own stuff. But this woman, this main character, is embezzling a lot of money, millions of dollars, from the small town that she works for. Like, she's worked her way up in the accounting office to where she has control of the money, and she's buying art, and it's all very secret. And like, you watch the journey of it till when she's finally found out at the end. It was a very, very interesting book. I really enjoyed it. I am reading the first book in the, I'm not sure how you say this. I think it's Scholomance.
How do you spell it?
It's a made-up word. It's Scholomance. Scholomance, I believe, is how you would say it. By Naomi Novik. The first book is called A Deadly Education, and it's kind of a like Harry Potter-ish type situation. Where there's magic and students are sent to this school, but once they're sent to this school, they have no contact with the outside world at all. Like, they just live there for years and years and years. They get messages out when the seniors graduate and take messages out to their families just to let them know they're still alive, because in this world, they are having to fight for their lives in school because there are creatures and all kinds of things that are attacking and killing, and like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students die. So we're following some of the students in that. So I'm still fairly early on in that. And then the last book that I'm listening to is the next book in the Red Rising saga by Pierce Brown, book number 4, called Iron Gold. And this is set in space, and it's I've talked about it in detail in the past as I've been listening to the books. So yeah, this is the next book in the series. Okay, watching. Have you watched anything this week, Dammy?
Not really.
Other than, the election. I think that's what all of us have been watching. So, okay, we finished rewatching season 3 of Monk. I don't know if I told you this, Dammy. It was kind of ironic, kind of funny. On election night, because we've been watching, we usually watch an episode on weeknights. We usually watch one episode after Russ gets home. And the episode that was next, that was ready to be played on election night, was Mr. Monk and the election. It was about his assistant, Natalie, running for the school board. Yeah, but it was just it was pretty ironic. I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? So I finally finished watching the last episode of Deaf U, which was a docu-reality type thing that was done by Netflix, and it was set at Gallaudet University, which is a deaf university here in the U.S. I think it's in the Washington, D.C. area, actually. But it was definitely for mature audiences. So I also finished watching season 1 of Ted Lasso, which I gushed about last week, how good it was. I sobbed through the last episode. Oh my gosh, so emotional. When you come home, we're watching it together. I think there's only 10 episodes, and they're all half-hour type episodes. It's so good. Because of the stress of the week, I have been binge watching old episodes of House Hunters on Hulu, and there's been quite a few episodes with tiny houses, and I will admit that I have been searching tiny houses on the interwebs because I would love to live in a tiny house. They have some now that are all one floor instead of there being the loft above to sleep in. And they also have some where they have stairs up to the loft instead of the ladder. So that's been interesting to watch. I watched one couple buy a houseboat, and another couple with 2 children bought a bus that they refurbished to live in. Yeah, he was the father husband was a musician, and the mother wanted, and the 2 kids wanted to travel with him when he's on tour. I'm watching season 4 of The Masked Singer. I have no clue who got kicked off last week. No clue. Anyway, watching season 15 of Supernatural. We're almost to the end, and it's lots of emotions. We're watching season 3 of Star Trek Discovery. Did you see? I sent you a picture of the cat.
Cat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very cute. And we're watching season 2 of The Mandalorian. Dammy, I think I texted you part of this, but I didn't text you all of it. I saved it so that I've got it so we can watch it when you come home. But in this episode, Baby Yoda was being carried in a sling by the Mandalorian.
It's a bag. It's his bag. Baby in the bag.
It's a sling.
I looked it up.
And when they were on the what are the things called? Remember back in some of the other movies, when Anakin was young and he was building the thing to race, what are those called?
Pod racers.
Yeah, so they were on a pod racer thingy, and Baby Yoda's ears were flapping in the wind, and it was so freaking adorable. It was so cute. But I won't spoil you because we'll watch it when you come home. But it was really.
No, I know what happens.
Okay, it was really interesting because I am my best friend is IMDb, and I look at the trivia for everything that we watch, and how many like things were answered, and how many ties there were to like the movies and such. It was really cool. So, listening to my favorite murder podcast. Today they did 2 of their favorite stories that they had told previously. I don't know what happened. The ring light just stopped. I will have to check it when we stop. So this week on My Favorite Murder, they did 2 episodes or 2 stories that they had previously told, and like replayed them. And one was a survivor story of this woman named Mary Vincent, and horrific things were done to her, and she survived and saved herself. She had to like walk miles and miles and miles, very, very injured. And there was one, because they were like kind of out in a deserted area, and she was trying to walk to like where the busier part of the highway was to try to get somebody's attention for help. And this one car saw her and kept going. If you were those people, how much guilt would you have when you found out what actually happened? But this lovely couple on their honeymoon rescued her. Craziness. And the other story that they did was of Typhoid Mary, which like is very appropriate for the world we're living in right now. And it was it made me laugh because they, if you don't know the story of Typhoid Mary, she was like eventually sent to this island where they sent people with diseases and such to like quarantine them, and she had to live there for years and years. And they were talking about in this episode, like from 2 years ago, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be amazing to be all by yourself and not have anywhere to go, and and I'm just going, you were just predicting what was happening right now. So that made me laugh. Listening to Unlocking Us with Brene Brown podcast and random Spotify playlists. What are you listening to, Dammy?
Cabin Pressure, random Spotify playlists, lots of ambient playlists.
Yes. One of my new favorite musicians came out with a new song in the last like week or so, and I have been listening to that song on repeat quite often. It's beautiful. It's called Mortal by Audrey Assad, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful song. So, okay, well, we're going to stop here. I'm going to see if I can figure out what happened to the ring light, get another cup of coffee, and we'll be right back with the next segment. Y'all won't even know because we'll just be like, boop, and here we're back. Okay, let's do it. Would you like me to tell you what happened with the ring light?
Sure.
So the ring light plugs in with a USB. So when I plugged it in last week when we were recording, it drained my computer battery really fast because I don't have it plugged into a power cord while we're recording. And so Russ's computer's sitting over here on the side. So I was like, oh, I'll just plug the USB into his computer. I didn't realize he didn't have it plugged into the power cord. It drained all the battery. So, fun times. Fun times. Okay, Dammy, let's do this next segment.
Now we're going to talk about our September, October, November Artistic Autumnal Owl. This is the last month of our owl. So it runs through the 1st of September through the 30th of November. It's for any project you knit, crochet, weave, spin, stitch, or sew that you can convince us is related to autumn. And you can do that just by saying you made it in the autumn. There are a couple whips allowed. The first is that your project must have been begun.
No. Stop. You said there's a couple of whips allowed.
No, there's a couple of main rules.
Yes.
The first is that no whips are allowed. Your project must have been begun no earlier than the 1st of September, then finished no later than the 30th of November. The other main rule is that each project that you knit, crochet, weave, or spin must be at least 20 yards. If your project is less than 20 yards, you need to group it in a single comment and thus a single photo in the Facebook FO thread, and that will count as one entry.
Yes.
You can feel free to polydip in other alongs that are going on as long as it fits in with their rules. That's totally fine. We are going to talk about prizes. So,
wait, before we do prizes, just a reminder to please fill out the Google form that is linked in the show notes or in the Facebook group. It just helps us when we award prizes to make sure, and if you're not a cross stitcher, we don't want to give you a cross stitch prize. But if you don't fill out the form, then we're just going to assume that you do whatever the prize is. So it's to your benefit to fill out the form. Okay, prizes. Okay, you want me to start or you start?
You're going first.
Okay, we have 2 stitch marker sets made and donated by Julia of Pandia's Jewels. One is Labyrinth theme and one is Frankenstein themed. 2 winners will each win 1 random set.
We've got an orange camper bag by Art by Anna that was donated by Rhonda.
We have a copy of Just Cross Stitch Volume 37, number 5. This is the October 2019 issue, so you got lots of lovely autumn patterns in it.
We've got the Hildy's Brew cross stitch pattern that was donated by its designer, Michelle Bendy Stitchy.
And finally, we have a zipper pouch and mini skeins donated by Hillary. Thank you so much to all of our prize donors. Love y'all.
If you are interested in donating a prize for a future owl, you can
email us.
Email us, ggkcspodcast@gmail.com, or message CC on Facebook.
Yes, we'll be pulling together the winter prizes when Dammy comes home, because Dammy will be home for about 6 weeks starting Thanksgiving week. So at that point, we're going to pull together both the winter prizes as well as the grand prizes for the RAL.
Yep.
Yep.
So you must be a member of the GGKCS podcast group on Facebook in order to participate. There's a hashtag if you want to post your projects on social media. It's GGKCS Autumn 20. Our FO thread will be locked for comments on the morning of 1st of December, and winners will be drawn for the next podcast after that. And any winners always have 30 days from the day the podcast goes live to claim their prize or they forfeit it.
That's right. I was just saying that's right. We've had a couple prizes that have gotten put back in the prize bin as of late. So if you are participating in a giveaway or an owl or whatever, you need to make sure and watch to see if you're a winner.
There's also a chatter thread in the Facebook group where you guys can chatter about your projects. And people who finished projects in the past week are Alyssa, Andrea, Emily VS, Jane, Linda, Sarah, Silver, and Tracy.
Great job, you guys. So great job, y'all. Apologies. Great job, y'all. Keep working on your projects and get them done. You have about 3.5 weeks left to get finished, and you might be a prize winner. All right, well, let's move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeks, the part of our show where you ask us things and we try to answer them.
That's right.
So this week's question was originally asked and answered in 2015, and I think the answer is probably still the same. Joanna asks, are you ever concerned for your stash being stored in the open? I am constantly spraying my open stash with lavender and was wondering if you do anything special to yours. I don't. Mine sits on a bookshelf.
In case you don't know, the concern is about moths, because moths like yarn, and they can get in there and ruin yarn. So when I am sitting at the table and recording, you can see behind me my my yarn stash up on that shelf there. What I typically do is around once a year, we pull everything off, kind of do a yarn toss and just make sure that nothing is going on in there, and then reorganize it up on the shelf. Actually, Dammy, while you're home over break, could you help me do that? I don't have as much yarn as I had at one point. I have a smaller stash. I have not purchased new yarn in a while. I mean, my sweater yarn, obviously, and my yarn advent calendar, but I don't think I've purchased yarn in a bit. So, but that's all I do is I just toss it, about once a year, just look through everything, make sure everything looks okay, and reorganize it on the shelf. Which is it's kind of fun to do that because sometimes skeins kind of get buried and you're like, oh, I forgot I have this yarn. So that's kind of fun. So thank you for your question, Joanna. Dammy, if somebody has a question for us, what should they do?
You can post it in our YouTube comments or go to our Ask the Geeks thread in our Facebook group and comment it.
There has not yet been a question we have not been willing to answer, so feel free to ask away. All right. Although we do reserve the right to say on that, but we're pretty open people. So, all right, let's move on to the next segment. We made it to the end of the show. Yay. Dammy, you'll find this interesting because after the whole ring light power draining thing, I sent a message to your daddy and told him what happened and was apologizing for draining his battery. And he says, that's interesting. My battery got to the red last night, so I left it connected. A certain kitty must have been exploring the corner again and disconnected it. Naughty kitty. So, yeah, it is plugged in and charging, so we will all be okay. Okay. I'm trying to think. I don't think we have any unusual announcements. Dammy will be taking the week off next week from the episode, so you'll get me. And then they'll be back the following week. So, yeah. Okay, let me just remind you that I am a VIP for the Black Needle Society, and they gave me a coupon code that y'all can use. The code is all capital letters, Java Pearl 5, JAVAPURL, like the knit stitch, and the number 5, for a discount on your first box of a box-to-box subscription. The code will not work on 6 and 12-month boxes because they already have a big discount built in, and it won't work on special edition boxes. But that's there for y'all. And yeah, we'd like to say a huge thank you to everyone who supports the podcast, no matter how you do it. We love y'all so much. Because it does cost money to do a podcast, shipping, technology behind the scenes, all those things. So we now have, Dammy, 5 ways you can support us financially. First up is Patreon, which is a site where you pledge a certain amount a month to your favorite creatives. You earn rewards based on the level you donate at. If somebody's interested in learning more about that or wants to sign up, where should they go?
Patreon.com/GGKCS.
And similarly with Patreon, we now have YouTube Join. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you should see a join button underneath the video. And by doing that, you get the same exact rewards that patron supporters get. So definitely check that out if you're more comfortable with YouTube setup versus learning a new setup on Patreon. That's available. Just click the join button underneath the video. What's another way, Dammy?
There's a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if you would like to make a one-time donation.
Yes. We are bookshop affiliates. Every week we make a list of the books that we talk about in that week's episode. You can shop from that list and shop from our store. And by doing that, we earn a commission as well as local independent bookstores earn money from the purchase. Our shop is at bookshop.org/shop/GGKCS. And we are amazon.com.co.uk and .ca affiliates. If you're going to shop on Amazon, if you go to our site first, look in the sidebar or at the bottom of the show notes, click on your appropriate Amazon, do your shopping as normal. It won't cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support the podcast by doing something you would be doing anyway. Thank you so much to everybody who supports the podcast financially. We appreciate y'all so much. Okay, Dammy, why don't you tell them where they can find us online?
You can find us at ggkcs.com. There are links to everywhere else we are online: YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, Facebook, other things.
Yes. 4, 5, 6, 7. Dammy, I got one whole row done during the episode
Nice.
of 471 stitches. That's a lot of stitches. Okay. Well, with that, we're going to tell you goodbye. We're going to remind you, by the time this comes out, we may know the answer to the question, but just remind you to take care of yourself. If you need to take a break from social media, if you need to take a break from watching the news, checking the news, refreshing pages on websites repeatedly, hoping that there will be an update, you need to make sure and take care of yourself. This is a very stressful, high anxiety time for us, especially here in the US, but I know there are others in other countries that this impacts as well. So please, please, please take care of yourself and remember to be kind and respectful to each other. And wear your mask. The numbers are up, up, up. You need to be wearing your mask. This pandemic is not over yet. And we'll be back. I'll be back with you on Monday with a Stitch with Me, and then I'll see you again at the end of next week for a full-length episode. And until we're together again, take care of yourself. Wear your mask. Happy crafting. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye.
Are you making biscuits for Dammy? Let's move the blanket there so we can see. Okay, biscuits. Biscuits for Dammy. Oh my goodness, you're so good at this, Pink. You could get a full-time job making biscuits. Biscuits.